Hi, I'm Brian Rose, the Central Area English, British and WBO Intercontinental Champion and World Title Challenger.
Very good, very good. And I'm Michael Mcpherson.
And welcome to the Lion's Den.
You nearly forgot that bit, didn't you? You were so worried about
I know,
it.
It's been a while. I'm still surprised I can introduce myself.
That's becoming like our trademark now, getting the intro wrong. We're like the new age Morton and Wise, like Ant and Dec.
Yeah, well, when we're saying bye, I say welcome to the Lion's Den.
Classic that, mate. Classic. So you had a good Christmas? Did you enjoy it?
I have. Been good. Been good.
Good stuff, good stuff. We've got a good episode today, mate. We're finally doing it. We're still not back in the Lion's Den, actually in the ring. Again, it's because of COVID postponements. I've actually got COVID myself at the moment, so I'm banged up indoors, but feeling not too bad. But yeah, we've got a great episode finally. We've got Liam Williams coming on. We're going to chat to him a bit about the upcoming fight against Chris Eubank Jr., which I'm really excited for. We've got Big Dave Allen coming on. We're going to find out what he had for Christmas lunch. I bet that was interesting. We've got Jack Massey coming on, chat to him a bit about what it's like to be a world champion now. I hear he's been on a 2-month or 6-week handshaking parade. That's the rumours out there. I hear you're going to pull him up on that. And we've got Harry coming on from the Syfta band, big boxing fan. Got some good music out, so we're going to chat to him as well. So it's going to be a great episode, mate.
Yeah, we've got a Christmas special.
Yeah, let's get going with it.
Let's go.
So, mate, yeah, what I've got to mention at the start there is while we're here today and we've got some videos coming on later from the likes of Ricky Hatton and Stevi Levy and Anthony Fowler and Bobby and Robert. We're going to be talking about the fighters and fights of the year. Coming to the end of the year, it's a good time to look back. And we're going to give ours first. And I think it's been a great year for boxing, really. I think we go back to, I think it was January the 2nd or something like that. Luke Campbell fought Ryan Garcia, and I thought that really set the tone for the year of boxing that we got. You know, it was a perfectly matched fight. It was exciting, and we went on and we had some great ones. Cambosis Jr. against Lopez, I thought was a real standout one. Obviously, Usyk and Joshua, Fury and Wilder again. The two Canelo wins, big wins against Saunders and Plant and stuff. So it's a tough one to choose, really, mate. I think there's been some great domestic fights as well. I think Metcalf and Williamson was. Absolutely. Cheeseman and Williamson was absolutely brilliant. You know, that was to watch. That was superb. But for me, I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna have to say that the fight of the year for me is probably Usyk and Joshua, just for the way that Usyk went in there. And as a cruiserweight, really, I know he's pumped himself up to 15-10 or something like that. But you know, as a much smaller man, the way he went in there and dominated that fight, and no one expected it, really. Well, you say no one expected it. I don't think anyone expected it to happen that easy for him, you know, to completely dominate it without Joshua being able to put on a fight and then nearly stop him at the end. To watch that with all those fans, I think it was something like 70 or 80,000 at Tottenham Stadium after everything that we've been through. I just think that was a spectacle of the year.
Yeah. Well, I certainly can't argue you there, Michael. It was a cracking fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was absolutely superb. And for fighter of the year, I think, you know, I was going to wind everyone up here. Actually, I was going to go down the route of riding people. He's advanced himself in the boxing world without actually beating any boxers, and now he's the fighter of the year in terms of money made and profile made. And there is an argument for that, but I can't bring myself to do it and keep a straight face. So I've got to say Canelo again, really. You know, when you think about what he's beat, you know, because he's so good, he probably doesn't get the praise he actually deserves. When you think of the challenge when he was going into the Saunders fight, everyone was saying Saunders was the man to beat him, and you know he's going to really test him. And, you know, the way he got him out of there was ridiculous, and he did it again with Plant, was pushed by a Plant, but you know he keeps facing absolute best opponents, toughest opponents in front of him, and he keeps winning. So for me, he's a fighter of the year for 2021, and I think the way he's going on, he could be the fighter of the year for 2022. But that's my opinion, mate. What's yours? What do you reckon?
Well, I'm going to go for Tyson Fury. While the third fight, it was amazing. Like he was so back, and again, not expected. Everyone expected Tyson Fury to walk through him because of what happened the second time, and he didn't. It was back and forward, and Deontay Wilder came prepared, and it was a cracking fight. For heavyweight, I mean, some of those heavyweight fights can be a bit boring. But Tyson Fury didn't seem to ever be involved in a boring fight, and it was a great fight to watch. I've got to agree with you in terms of fight of the year, Canelo, because he's the most active. He's moving up the weight divisions. He's even talking about fighting at light heavyweight now and cruiserweight. He's just crazy. So yeah, because he's been so active and the wins he's had, I'm going to go for Canelo.
Good stuff, man. What about your? You saw you had to fight a year. Sorry, I was going to just add on that one. I was going to go down the same route as you actually. I watched back, just as I say, I've been in this COVID jail and I've been watching back some of the fights of the year, and I watched back the Fury and Wilder one, and you know, I think I'd be surprised if that's not in everyone's top three or what most people say is a fight of the year. The only reason I'm not giving it is I expected Fury to win, and he did. And I know Wilder showed a lot of heart, but watching that fight back again, I think it's the third time I've watched it now. You know, yes, he did knock Fury down, but outside of that, it was still a very, very one-sided, you know, fight. I know people can say, oh, you know, it's always anxious to the end with Wilder, but actually, when you watch it back, knowing the result, it's still Fury beating him up for 99% of the fight, and that's the only reason I've not given it that way.
It was just so exciting because Fury's just one punch off being knocked over again and again. You're just thinking every time he throws a punch, Wilder, you're worried that he's going to put Fury down, and he was just that's why I found it exciting. But yeah, you are right. He was in full control. He looked in full control, but like I said, with someone like Deontay Wilder's power, can turn a fight around just like that.
Yeah, 100%. And I hope he fights again, Deontay Wilder, because I'm hearing some rumours at the moment that he's set to retire coming out. And, you know, after watching that fight, yesterday, I still think he beats everybody else in the division, Deontay Wilder, just purely because of his power. I don't think anyone can evade him for 12 rounds. I think they're going to get caught at some stage, and I don't think anybody else has taken those shots. So I hope Deontay Wilder fights again. I really do.
Yeah, I do. But I mean, people say that they do that for attention sometimes. I'm not saying he's done it for attention, but they do it so that they spoke about and talked about, and people, it causes dramas, and that could be a thing that he's doing, you know, so people ask him not to retire. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll fight again. He's a fighter. It's in him, isn't it? It's in him. So he'll definitely fight again. I think he will. Yeah,
I hope so. I think he will too. So you're going Fury Wilder 3 and Canelo, and I'm going Usyk Joshua, probably more for the spectacle of it and Usyk's performance and Canelo. So we're pretty agreed there, mate. And it'll be interesting to see what Liam thinks and Dave and Jack and some of the opinions we got on video for people later on. So yeah, we'll come back to that one. But I want to bring the attention to this. We've got a little competition as promised. We had the blonde bomber Emily Bridges on the last episode, and she's kindly signed this glove for us, and we're going to give everyone the chance to win it. So we're going to put a post out on our Instagram page, the Lions Den group, and basically you need to tell us what subject Miss Bridges teaches. So leave the comment on there, let us know what subject she teaches, and we'll pick out a winner at random, and the Ebony Bridges signed glove is yours. We'll get that to you. So mate, should we get Liam Williams on?
Yeah, let's get him on.
Liam, how's it going, mate? Thanks for coming on.
All good, mate. Thank you. All good.
How you doing, mate? You good?
Yeah, man. I'm all good. Just settling down from a long, busy day with the kids, and been a bit stressful. So relaxing now, finally.
Yeah.
Me and Michael both understand that. He's got 2 kids, and I've got 3 kids. So we know how difficult it is fitting things around, mate.
100%. It's it can get a bit stressful at times, can't it? But they're both pretty good, to be fair. It's just having to watch over them and, you know, constantly follow them around, and it's hard work.
Yeah, especially the different ages. I know you've got a daughter, haven't you? She's how old is she? 6?
She's 5. She'll be 6 in February.
When there's 2 kids at 2 different ages, it's difficult because one wants a bottle shoved in his mouth and nappy changing, the other one wants just to do her nails or do her makeup.
Correct. Yeah, as you just said, man, I've just had to take my daughter to Asda now to buy her some fake nails. Like, I mean, she's said she's only 5 and she's giving me stick because she didn't have no fake nails. I'm like, it's just go and keep quiet.
You're gonna have trouble. You're gonna have trouble there, mate. You're gonna have trouble.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No, mine are the same. With it being Christmas and stuff, they think they're gonna get chocolate and presents every day now. They just wake up going, "Oh, chocolate and presents is normal stuff."
It's Christmas 2 days ago, and like they're fed up of all that crap, and they want new stuff again. It's like, you know, come on, you're taking the piss.
How did you get on over Christmas not eating shit? Was you all right?
It was all right, mate. You know, it was hard, to be honest with you. I had a nice big dinner and that. But my weight's fairly good, so I put on a couple of pounds, but I'll just pull that back over the next few days now, and we're back on track then. So, but it's never easy watching everybody drink and eat shit. And
Man, I must have done about 15, 20 camps over Christmas, like over the years, and it's hard work, especially when you have kids. I think when you're on your own and you take yourself away from it, but when you have kids and they're eating shit around you, they're eating chocolate, and you're eating, it's so hard, isn't it?
It is. It's laying everywhere in sweets and chocolate, and it's hard not to eat, especially when they're wasting food and that as well. That's what I struggle with.
Yeah.
And I can't chuck it in the bin. I'm like, I'm starving. I'm gonna go and toss this in the bin. No way. Bang.
That's what I'm doing with the chocolate at the moment. I keep telling myself I've got to eat it, and then once it's gone, I won't eat it anymore. It's just like, that's my rationalisation. It's like, it goes to waste if I don't eat it. I'll just stuff another bar of Galaxy down my face. That'll be all right.
No. Full of shit, you're just going to go and buy more anyway.
That's it. So, mate, we've got you here to talk about the big fight coming up, January 29th. So listening to a lot of interviews on it today, just to hear what Chris has been saying before we speak to you. And I get the impression that he's trying to come across that he's not wound up by you. He's not going to let you get in his head. He's very calm. He's doing his thing. He also said, listen to him earlier on, he said about his record being better than yours, which we don't really see. Me and Brian was just discussing this, and we think it's a genuine 50-50 proper huge domestic clash. But do you think he is bothered by you? Do you think that's an act, his cool and his calmness? And do you think that he really thinks that his record's better than yours? Or do you think he knows he's got a real fight in his hand?
Yeah, well, first of all, he knows he's got a real fight on his hands, but he's saying that I've not bothered him, this and that. But in other interviews, he's saying this is personal. He's done this, he's done that. So obviously, I have pissed him off. Otherwise, it wouldn't be personal, So he's crossing his own words, really. It's just Eubank being Eubank. He's full of shit, isn't he? So. Yeah, I think, he's beat some decent people, but the people he has beat old and finished, really. And the real tests and the real fighters he has come up against, he's lost to him. So, you can't discredit him too much. He's obviously fairly good, but his record, he's been matched fairly well. And as I've said already, the ones which he's lost, the real fights he's been in are the ones he's lost.
Yeah, I've got to say, we spoke to Robert Rimmer earlier, and he was talking back to the Mark Efron fight, and he was saying that you're the king of getting in people's heads and putting it on them, and he said when you stand in front of you, you're resilient and you're strong, and fighters do get phased and do get bothered. So I think one of the things we're really interested to see is when you do get in there, just how cool he thinks he's going to be and whether he can maintain that, because I know that you're the kind of fighter that's going to go in there and proper give him put it on him.
Yeah, well, one thing's for sure is he can bring whatever he wants. I'm not going to back down to anybody. You obviously have to go in and have your little game plan or whatever. But when it comes to crunch, I think the fight is going to be, it's going to turn out to be survival of the fittest. I think we both dislike each other, and I think it's going to turn out to be a real fight. You know what I mean? So if he thinks I'm going to run away and try and jab him on the back foot, he's got another thing coming.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect.
Is that what you're looking to go in to do? Are you gonna look to like take him to deep waters, or are you gonna just see how it goes?
Obviously, we've got our plan, Bri, but when things get emotional and you don't like your opponent and this and that, I think sometimes it's almost a certain there are going to be certain points in the fight which are going to be emotional, and we're going to both have to stand and really battle it out. So I'm ready for that. I know I'm a better boxer than him, and I've got better IQ than. But it's just as I said already, there's going to be times where I'm going to have to stand and fight my ground, and I'm more than prepared to do that, and he will know that as well.
Liam, can I ask, where does that dislike come from? Because it generally sounds like the two of you, I know everyone tries to sell a fight and stuff, but it generally comes across as the two of you have a real dislike for each other. Where was that born?
Well, to be honest, he's never actually done anything to me personally. He's just the type of guy that if I knew him outside of boxing, then I'd still think he was a prick and I wouldn't want to talk to
He's easily disliked. He's easily disliked, isn't he?
He's Marmite, isn't he? He's Marmite.
And if I'm being honest with you, I think he tries to be that bad guy. It's like Mayweather, for example. A lot of people used to tune in to see Mayweather, but they used to tune in hoping that he'd get beat. And I think he's kind of tried to go that way around it, just to get a following, whether they dislike him or like him, then it's following nevertheless, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I definitely don't like him, and I can't wait to get my hands on him.
Yeah. And to be fair, he has gained fans just through people wanting to get beat. So he's done a good job at that. He's got a massive social media following, so he has done a good job of getting people to dislike him. But I suppose anyone could do that just by acting like a twat, couldn't they? So
yeah, fair play to him. If that's how he wants to gain his fans, then fair play. But I'd rather have less fans, but actual fans who want to see me do well, you know.
Yes.
So yeah, each their own. He's his own man. But let's not forget, he is a prick, and he always will be. So
when this fight come along, was it one you looked at straight and was like, I want this fight. This is one I'm really up for? Because we were chatting before, and we were saying with your recent fights and respect you gained from the Andrade one, and where you're going in your career and where he's been going in his career. I actually, there's an argument that he needs this fight more than you do. You know, I think you taking it, it's a bigger opportunity for him. So was it one that was on radar, or is it one that just kind of come up and you went, yeah, I'll have that?
Yeah, well, I've been calling for this fight. I've called him out for the last 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I've said for a long time, Eubank's the one I'd like to fight and whatnot, and yeah, it's just, I think it was one of them fights which was always kind of inevitable, and it was going to happen at some point, because such a clash of personalities. Obviously, I've done well. I've lost my last fight, but it was at a high level. We both kept winning. We both, been making good names for ourselves. So I think it was always going to happen, really. But they offered the fight, and I was like, yes, this is it. We've got what we wanted. So I think I'm just one step away now from being almost a superstar then, really, because once I beat him, everybody's going to love me, and they're going to thank me for it, and they're going to reward me for it. So I just got to focus on doing a good job of him, and I think there's so many bigger things afterwards as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And in terms of your shoulder, was it a genuine shoulder injury? Was it because you were swapping trainers? Was that genuine? Did you have a twinge in your shoulder? And how is your shoulder now? Is it okay?
Yeah, it was a genuine injury. I say injury. It wasn't like you could say it wasn't an injury. It was a niggle there, and it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't right. It was. Yeah, it was giving me some pain. That was the main reason. But then, obviously, because I thought, right, I've actually bought myself a couple of weeks here. I knew I wasn't happy anyway, and I wasn't in the best mental state going in, being 3 weeks away from a fight. Then it wasn't ideal for me, because I wasn't happy in where I was and what I was doing. So I thought, right, I've bought myself a couple of weeks here. I need to strike while the iron's hot and get moving,
And how is things with Adam Booby? Is it going really well?
Yeah, mate, fantastic. I absolutely love it there. And I know it's all well and good looking back, and hindsight's a beautiful thing and all that, but I wish I'd made the move sooner, to be honest with you, because I really think he's going to bring out the best of me.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we've all backed you. We're all saying that, we fancy you to do it in a tough fight. But if I was a betting man, you tell me what I should be backing. How do you think the fight's going to go? Are you going to get him out there early? Is it going to go the distance?
I'd certainly like to. The ideal situation for me is I'll go in and bang him out with the first shot I hit him with, and do some good damage while I'm at it. But I do genuinely think it's going to be a difficult fight. It's going to be a draining fight. It's going to be one of them where you're going to have to dig in at certain points. And I don't like him one bit, but that's one thing I certainly won't do is underestimate him, because he's very tough.
Yeah.
He's fit. I said he's not the most technical, but he will be there. He'll be there to fight all night unless you put him to sleep.
Yeah, he's got a really good chin.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm prepared for a tough 12-round fight, but you know, if we can get him out of there, then I'll be over the moon.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, we look forward to it. It's going to be a great fight. And I know you can't look past fights, but when you look at your, you know, the last 12 months in the fight against Andrade and how well you accounted yourself there, when you do go past this fight and hopefully that win, is that the next goal for 2022 to get back onto that world level and chase a world title?
Yeah, well, to be honest with you, they're saying that they're basically making out that I'm some kind of walkover and he's going to beat me and go on to bigger things and whatnot. If they genuinely believe that, why is it they've put a rematch clause in place?
Yeah.
Why would they do that for next time? Once I beat him, the rematch clause is in place for more than double the money. So
yeah.
What if they were so confident? Why would they do that? I don't understand. They obviously know that I got in me to beat him, and I'm gonna.
Did they push for that as well, Liam?
Yeah, that was the deal. Like, take it or leave it. You know, they had to have the rematch clause. So, no, well, at the end of the day, it's no problem to me. If I can beat him once, I can beat him twice.
Yeah.
So, and hopefully, I'll go there, knock him out really badly. You know, do some good damage to him, and they won't even won the rematch. Then I can fight some bigger names. So we'll see. I'm open to anything, but my main priority now is obviously 29th of Jan and just getting the job done.
Yeah, well, we're expecting a great fight. We're expecting you to win, and we're expecting a big 2022 from you, mate. So good luck on that. But before we let you go, we're going to jump back to 2021. We've been asking everyone what's their fight and their fighter of the year. What's been the best fight they've seen of the year, and the fighter they think that's really done the business in 2021. What would be yours?
You know, you put me right on the spot now. Chuck some ideas at me. I can't think.
Right. Well, mine was Tyson Fury, Wilder, the third one, yeah. But
3 years.
Mine was what was yours?
I went for Usyk and Joshua just because it was in England. The 70,000-80,000 people, the spectacle of it, and the way Usyk won. But I think there's been some great domestic fights, like Cheeseman and Metcalf first, and then Cheeseman and Williamson, and there's
Cheeseman and Troy Williamson in terms of Britain. That was a very good fight. I enjoyed that.
Great domestic tear up, that
It was, yeah. You'd have to put Fury Wilder 100% is high up there. Do you know what? I've gone blank. I can't even think of any.
Cambosis and Lopez. Did you watch Cambosis?
Cambosis and Lopez. Yeah, there's a lot, to be honest with you. I'd probably go with Fury and Wilder 3, to be honest.
Yeah.
And fight of the year, I picked Canelo. You picked Canelo, didn't you, Michael?
Yeah, you got to really with he keeps beating everything.
Just the most active.
Yeah, 100% it'd have to be Canelo, without hands down. Not even. I think at the moment he's kind of in a league of his own, isn't he? And he can't see him getting beat anytime soon, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, we can't. Mate, I've got to thank you for coming on. I don't want to keep you too long because you've got the fight coming up. I really appreciate it. And, when you're out of camp and you've won the fight, come back on and we'll have a chat for a bit longer, and we'll look forward to that.
Of course I will, mate. Yeah, no problem. I'll, can't say I'll be available whenever you want because I'm a busy guy, but I'll definitely be back on 100%.
No, legend.
We're taking his bird out again.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll get absolutely steaming next time, though.
Yeah.
Start there like a little bum drinking water and eating leaf.
Good luck, mate. Good luck with everything, honestly. I wish you all the best. I really want you to win the fight.
Yeah, 100%,
yeah, thanks,
mate.
lads. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. Get it done.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers,
Cheers, man.
Bye, mate.
Thank you.
Good to chat to Liam, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's good. He's going to be a great fight, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. It's like I feel like it's a pointless question now because we've got to say him after having him on. But who do you think's going to win?
I think it's a very tough fight. I like Williams, and I've got to know him over the years. I've said good things about him over the years, saying he's the most improved fighter from Great Britain at one point. I said that a few years ago, and I've always been a bit of a fan of Liam Williams. So I'm going to go with Liam. Although it is a tough fight, it's a great domestic tear-up. So
yeah, I agree. As far as domestic fight goes, it's a proper one. I'm going to go with Liam as well. I think it'll be a good fight, and I think it could go either way. But I think he's strong, he's resilient. I think he'll I think we'll take Eubank to a dark place. Actually, I'm going to go with him.
Yeah, same.
But we're going to waste no time, mate. We're going to bring our second guest on, the new world champion, about 5-6 weeks ago now, our mate. He's been on this victory parade. We'll have a chat with him about it. Let's get him on, Jack Massey. One smack, Jack. How's it going, mate?
All good, thank you, mate. How are you guys?
Yeah, good Christmas.
We call him Jack Shake Hands Massey now.
I
Been going around shaking everyone's hand since he won. What was that?
Say that again, Michael.
I thought it was Jack Open Top Bus Massey. That's what they call him.
Been in beautiful to fight, haven't I?
You've earned it, mate. You've earned it. To be fair, we've been talking about fights and fighters of the year. You've got to be up there. That left hook, I was there. That was absolutely ridiculous. Just punch of the year for me. That.
I love knockout of the year, definitely.
Yeah, he's on the highlight reel now, isn't he? He's on Sports Personality of the Year for that one.
Yeah, do not stop.
Mate, I know we've been giving you some stick about all this, all this handshaking and stuff, but you got every right to enjoy it. What a performance, world champion. What's been the out of all the media stuff you've done and all the little parades and Tyson Fury in the Trafford Centre and all that kind of stuff? What's been the best moment? What's been the best perk about being a world champion?
I think the best moment is just looking back on the night. Taking it all in after the fight, and just obviously, like you say, all the media stuff as well. Just sitting back and taking all that in, and it's all new, it's all different, and it's great. It's part of the job, going down to BBC and Northwest tonight and ITV. It's all good. It's all new and it's all exciting. But obviously, getting the hand raised after the fight, that was the main thing, and collecting that belt, which was amazing.
That moment where you jumped up with Rob, and Rob made you about, well, what is Rob? He's he made you about 10 foot tall. Let's say your heights combined.
It looks like a little koala bear, didn't he? Hanging on to it. I think the best bit was jumping on. Well, saying jump on the ropes. I tried to jump on the ropes after it, but that was a complete fail, wasn't it?
did Robert not cut your eye when he jumped at you?
Yeah, he jumped at me and I spun around, grabbed hold of him, and he stuck his head on me.
Cut you.
Yeah. We was all trying to figure out after the fight how it happened, and Kevin got the replay on his phone after when we was having a few beers after the fight. He got the replay, and it's like that's when it happened. He slowed down the video. It's just Rob fucking sticking his head on me. It was funny.
It's funny because you literally, I saw you after, and you had this cut, and I was like, I don't remember you ever getting like hurt or hit. Like, no,
well, he said as well. The opponent was like dead confused. He was like, after the fight, he was doing an interview. He was like, "You cut?" And I went, "Yeah, it wasn't you, mate. It was."
I bet he was devastated.
He respect to him actually, because I remember backstage he was up for a beer, wasn't he? All he was worried about was sort of congratulating you and saying, "Oh, let's have a beer now" and stuff. So he accepted it well, didn't he?
Yeah, he's a good lad, to be fair. Yeah, he's he's good sportsmanship.
Yeah,
on behalf of himself. That's what it's all about, enjoying a beer after win, lose or draw, and it takes a bigger man, doesn't it? So instead of going back to your room sulking and whatnot, so yeah, fair play to him.
I tried to have a beer with mine after my fight. I had a beer. Went to give him one. He went, I don't drink. I went, I'll have yours then. So I had to.
Yeah, I'll have yours.
Right, I don't know if you've ever had anything like this, but we was backstage after the fight, and he's talking to Bilal, and he didn't take it this way at all. He was taking it well, but this would be like I wouldn't be able to sit and have this conversation. Jack was sitting there explaining to him about the punch he hit him with. He's going to him, I tell you what I did, I just kind of dropped this and then I hit you like that. And he's going, oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't see it coming. It was like giving him a tutorial about how you knocked him out. It's like fair play to the lad.
Yeah, could have took it the wrong way, couldn't he?
It's because you're absolutely buzzing when you're winning it. You just don't show up.
Don't you? Them post-fight interviews, you just ramble on about any old shit.
Oh, it's ramble on. No, there's just no nerves whatsoever, is there?
Yeah, funny.
So Jack, what's next? What's next then, mate? I'm hearing some fight rumours. What's next?
Obviously we're looking to make the Isaac Chamberlain fight. Which be a good defence. So we're looking to defend in possibly end of March, beginning of April time. So see what comes of that. Exciting fight, and I think our teams are getting the ball rolling now in talk. So see what happens with that. So get a defence, possibly end of March, beginning of April. So see what comes.
Yeah, is that the fight? Is that a fight you wanted, or is that one that's just come about?
Yeah, absolutely. He shouted me out after his last fight, and it's quite nice to be shouted out. To be honest, it's not many people have done it, so it's quite nice to have someone shouting you out. And we need these fights now. We've been struggling for fights for a long time, so to get these good fights coming in now is can't look taking over again once again. Yeah, so
he's a good name to have on your record, though. I think he's a big name. Like, even though I don't think he's as good as you, and I genuinely believe that, but he is a big name, and he has been in big fights. So I think someone like that next would be brilliant for you. Yeah,
absolutely. It's got to make him a good fight as well, and that's what it's all about. Seeing good fights.
Yeah, I think it's a good fight, and it's got a good profile as well. He's got a good presence on social media. I know it's got nothing to do with boxing ability, but in this day and age, it's good to build profile. And I think as Bryce says, I don't think he's as good as you as a fighter, but he's got that bit of a profile. So the two names coming together, it's a good match and a good fight.
Absolutely, definitely.
Yeah, it'll be a good one, mate. So when you're back in training, then when you get in the
back in the new year, yeah. So you know what? I've just had my third turkey dinner today, so I'm like
that. Make sure Rob doesn't see this.
I love him.
Rob's pining for him, and that's what it is. Rob misses him. He wants him back in the gym.
Robert's like his dad, Bobby. Bobby used to make me do about 20-week camp, move me away from Danielle and the kids, and I used to do about a 20-week camp because he was on his own in the house, on his own, so I had to go to Manchester to live. Or my poor missus sat at home on her own.
Yeah, I'll be back in the new year. We was going to go away, me and Amber, in the new year because it's our anniversary. We met on New Year's Eve out in Manchester 9 years ago, and we got engaged on New Year's as well. So we always look at him and smile. He's going to say so. We always go away, but obviously in with all this going on at the minute with COVID, we just booked Chester. We're just going to have a nice chill one in Chester, so for a few days. So back in after that.
Yeah, he's had a good one, and he's had a right jolly up after this fight. He's living the life, the lad.
Oh, he's had it.
I'm sick of all that food now and beer. I want to get back to it.
No, mate, you deserve it. As I said, you deserve it. Great year, great win. Before you go, pal, I've got to ask you. Obviously, outside of your own one for yourself, what was the best fight you've seen this year and the fighter of the year for you?
I think you've probably had everyone saying this. It's got to be Wilder and Fury, hasn't it? It's what a fight. It's when the trilogy, if I can say that right.
Trilogy, close.
Yeah, definitely. What about you guys?
I said the same as you, Jack, and he said Usyk and Joshua just for the spectacle and the masterclass.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good fight, but I think when you see good toe-to-toe fights, I think it was Fury Wilder. Exciting, big shots going.
Just on the edge of your seat with that fight, and that's why I found it more exciting. But obviously, you could look at it the other way, and the job Usyk did on Joshua, you can't argue with that either, I suppose.
Yeah.
No.
I think it was just the spectacle of the Usyk and Joshua one with the fans in England at that packed stadium in the middle of, not the middle of summer, but kind of late summer, and how busy it was. And I think just the job he did on him, I just think the whole thing was absolutely superb. But yeah, I think, I could have easily, you asked me again tomorrow, I could say Fury and Wilder, free. What about fighters? Yeah,
I didn't really want to see the Joshua and Usyk fight. Obviously, I found it a bit hard, that Usyk could beat. I wanted to see Joshua and Fury. Yeah. I wanted to save it, do you know what I mean? And but now Joshua's been beat by Usyk. It's sort of, the hype's sort of gone.
Yeah.
On the
and now we probably won't even see Usyk Fury.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen next, is it?
It would have been amazing, wouldn't it? Joshua and Fury, for British boxing and for boxing fans around the world, it would have would have been great.
The only way that happens is if Usyk, Joshua beats Usyk now. That's the only way that if he redeems himself, but I just can't see it.
No, I can't see it unless he lets his hands go big time and just goes out and fights like he fought, say, Wilder or Klitschko. I think he can do it, but yeah, it's a tough one. But fighter, there's been a few. Who are you guys saying?
I said I was saying I was going to be on the wind up and say Jake Paul, but I couldn't keep a straight face. So I said Canelo. I know like with Canelo, people don't really give him. It's right. I don't know whether he gets too much praise, and that's why we just know how good he is, if you know what I mean. So we kind of don't pick him out as one. But if you look at what he's done this year again, I'm just saying beating Saunders, who a lot of people said could beat him, and then beating Khan as well, emphatic in both of them. I just think he's the best.
I said Jack Massey.
Oh, thanks, mate. Appreciate that, pal. I'll give you that £100 later.
I didn't realise I said Canelo. I'm sorry, mate. I said Canelo.
Jack Massey could be our fighter of 2022, pal. That's the gauntlet set now. You've got to get out there. 3 big wins this year. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, that's it. I love that.
Thanks for coming on, pal. I'll let you get back to more. I'll let you get back to more turkey dinners. How many more you got left in the tank?
I'm gonna have a sleep on the sofa now.
He needs to get back to Amber, doesn't he?
Rob's on his way round. Rob's on his way round to get him to the gym. Jack, enjoy it, mate. You've earned it.
Nice one, Jack.
Thanks for having us on, guys.
Mate.
Yeah, mate. Good to have Jack on. I know we're winding him up, but he's had a great year, hasn't he? To be fair, to the way he won that title, he deserves a bit of a blowout over Christmas.
He deserves a break, but I understand Rob. He wants him in the gym and he wants him around, doesn't he?
You need the likes of Rob and Bobby for you and stuff like that, to get him back in, get him refocused. And I'm sure once the New Year's out of the way and his anniversary and all that kind of stuff, he'll be back and he'll be flying.
That's it, mate.
That's it. Should we just go straight in now? We'll get straight into our next guest,
let's do
the
it.
main man, Big Dave Allen. Let's get him on. Big Dave, how's it going, mate?
I'm very well, thank you.
That looks like a very, very comfortable dressing gown. We won't say much more about it, but
Ink Branded sent me this. KFC, sent me some KFC gear every now and again, and it's good stuff. I like it a lot.
What are they throwing for you that you weigh for that? Like a few grand or some bargain buckets or family buckets, or you just wearing it out of the love of the food?
They just send it to my mate's house. I don't give my own address away, so I've got all my friends' addresses written down in my notes, and I give them addresses away, and when stuff turns up, they drop it off at my house. So
good stuff. It looks good, mate. It's good. Only you could pull it off, to be fair.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear it out of the house unless I was showing off. So obviously I'm quite an understated guy, so I don't really wear it often.
You had a good
wear it on a podcast instead.
Yeah, I'm quite a shy character, really. So,
mate, you had a good Christmas?
Not really. I don't celebrate Christmas really, to be honest. It's a good time of year. Everyone's nice to each other. But for me, luckily it landed on a weekend, because I'm no days off. Yeah. So, it landed all right. But we left the gym Friday night. We're back in Monday morning. So I'm just glad it's out of the way now. Get New Year's out of the way, and we can crack on with normality.
You seem like you're working really hard with the boxers, Dave. I've noticed on social media you're working harder than ever with them, individually.
Yeah. Well, I've got a good little team going off. My amateurs they've had 7-1-6. My pros have had 13-1-12 last year. So obviously when I boxed myself, I wasn't a great trainer, but with them, I tell them all the time, you're not naturally as good as me, so get in the gym. Do you know what I mean? Which they don't really like that. But I say to them, get fit and you can batter me. So I train them very hard. I train them really hard. And I like to think I train them properly. I've been everywhere. I've been trained by everyone from Brendan Ingle to Peter Fiore to Jamie Moore. I've been trained by everybody. You pick up little bits and pieces everywhere you go. And I tell them all, be fit. And that is all. If you're fit and do what I tell you, and you have natural talent, which they do, because I wouldn't waste my time with someone that doesn't, you can go somewhere, And if you're not going to put the work in, then go back to the body sparring class that I do. And that's simple as that. I'm quite strict with them, but the results speak for themselves.
It makes sense because, like you say, you know about not being fit, and you've had fights where you've learned a lot in the fight. So I suppose that makes you a good trainer. They make the best trainers. Sometimes, if you're the best boxer, you don't make the best trainers. I'm not saying you're not a good boxer because you are, but you've learned a lot from your fights, which you can put into practice with the boxers.
Well, I told them all. I've got hundreds of stories now. I boxed on pay-per-view without training for 6 months, and I still won. But I don't want us to go through that, And that's why people, when I became a manager, people were like, you can't be a manager. You boxed Lewis Ortiz and got $9 grand. How can you be a manager? I said, because I've been there and done it. And sometimes, exactly. For me, if someone wants something from me, I'll do it, and I'll do it to the best of my ability. But I won't do it for myself. So the managing training is going really well because I dedicate myself to it. Like I said, over Christmas, I had the weekend off. I was back in the gym on the 27th, 9 a.m. We're in the gym, we're training hard, and they're getting me in the gym as well. Every day that they're in the gym, I've got to be there as well. So it's helping me out as well. I've been in the gym the last couple of days, and the years gone by, you wouldn't have caught me anywhere near the gym till probably March. So it's worked out quite well.
Yeah, I've got to say that, Dave. When you come on, I can't remember exactly when it was, but about 6 months ago, and you were started to talk a lot about managing fighters, and that's what you were going to do next. And it wasn't that I didn't take you seriously. It wasn't that at all. It was just the fact of I didn't really buy into it that much. I just thought it was something you were doing. But having being more involved now with Stevie and doing a bit of work there and coming down and hanging out with you guys and seeing it and the stuff you post on social media, you can generally see that you're putting 100% into this. You're doing it properly, and most importantly, you care about them. If you know what I mean. I've been to your house, and they're all there and they're all training you. They're buying into a lifestyle, and you're looking out for them. And I know that if they don't do it right, you pull them up. So it's almost like they are learning by your mistakes. And I think it's a real testament to you that you're doing a good job with them.
Yeah, it's good. We've got a little family here, and people, when I did start managing, people were like, bloody hell, what's he doing? But 4 and 5 I had as a manager. One were on live on Sky Sports, and then the 5th fight I had as a manager, they were live on the Zone. Yeah. So, a lot of it is a case of who, not what, which definitely helped. But as you say, it's a big family here. Everyone has bought into it. I started off at Brendan Ingles' gym as a 16-year-old. Yeah. Who was quite shy, and didn't have many mates. And I'd just gone to the gym, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I left that place 2.5 years later as a grown man with confidence, real. I had my real education. I had more education there than ever at school. So what we're training at a gym over there, we're training at a gym over there. It's everywhere, it's on the phone. We're in a big group chat when we're at the gym. Everyone's family there, and some of them are never going to box professionally in a million years, some of them. But one of them came for a 1-to-1 2 weeks ago. He hasn't missed a session since. Yeah. He hasn't gone through a session without being on floor 30 times yet, but it's nice, and that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to recreate. When I went to Brendan in 2008, 2009, 2010, I've never been in a better environment, in a more friendly environment, in a more mixed, all sorts of different race, religion, everything, all in one place, and it was all a big family. And for me, as a young kid, it was education for me, and it made me a much better person. And I'm trying to create that here. And if we get champions out of it, amazing, because that's what I plan to do. That's why I train so hard and try and do it properly. But there's more to it than that. I'm trying to create something bigger than boxing, the same way Brendan did for me and thousands of others.
Yeah, no, 100%. You can see that, mate. You can see what you're doing. You can see it's more than boxing. I know you said I'm not going to mention you're brutally honest about them. I've actually said to you, what do you reckon of that person? And they'll go, oh yeah, all right. But it's more about you looking out for them and buying into the whole kind of almost like this little club. I was going to use the word cult then. You're like the new Doncaster Charles Manson, but it is a little family you're creating there. But I've got to ask you, mate, who's the one to look out for in 2022 out of your little crop? Who's the one you think is going to make the big strides?
Well, in 2022, Stevi Levy's got a great chance because female boxing, the talent pool, there's not a lot of depth to it. So she has a big chance this year of picking up Commonwealth and European titles, I believe, if she can keep cake out of the gob, which is easier said than done because she loves the cake. But she's got a real chance. We got a nutritionist on board. She made 8 stone 5 a couple of fights ago. If she can make 8 stone 3, she can make a dent in the world title scene. And if you told me that 6 months ago, I'd have gone, mate, what are you smoking crack? So But looking at it, looking at the landscape, spending some time with her, seeing her in the gym, you know, she's not the most naturally gifted fighter though, but she trains very hard. She's very strong. I've watched these girls at flyweight, super flyweight, and I think, you know what, Stevie, she could actually box for world titles and possibly win one. Which, if you'd told me that 6 months ago, mate, I'd have laughed my head off. But I'm watching now. I'm thinking, there's chances here. You know, it's wide open for someone like Stevie to come through. You know, big at the weight, strong, good puncher. And I'm looking, I'm thinking, because I've got amateur kids that are better schooled than her. I've got Joe Hayden, who's had 4 bouts, won 4. He's better schooled than Stevie. He's only had 4 amateur bouts. But with her physical strength and power and the fact that there's not many at it, women at 8 stone 3, she has a chance of boxing for world titles in the next 12 months. Yeah. And it's amazing. But again, that's being honest about it. It's mad.
Nice. Does that spur on? Does that make her more dedicated? You know, when you see her in the gym and you've told her, listen, you could win the European title next year. Does that help her and spur her on and stop her from eating cake?
Well, with Stevie, it's hard with Stevie because Stevie's a bit like me. Stevie's mad as a box of frog. You know, she's emotional wreck sometimes, and she's very busy. She's got a lot of kids. She's a single mum. It's hard for her sometimes. So, but she has a chance to box. I've told her. I said, because I don't talk shit, me. I tell them straight. If you're no good, you're not very good. If you're good, you're good. If you can do this, you can do this. I tell all the lads that come in the gym, because a lot of my amateurs, you know, the youngest one is 20. So I say to him, look, boxing for a British title is a world title for you lot, yeah? And living in Doncaster, you can buy a 3-bed semi around here for 80, 90 grand. I said to him, look, box for a British title, yeah? Gets that kind of level, being around it for a couple of years, you can buy an house around here and you're done and dusted. I don't say to him, you can be world champion. If I said, I've got Joe who's 4-0, he's cracking little talent. I think he'll develop into being around a British title level in a couple of years' time. But if I said to him, you can beat Terence Crawford and Errol Spence in 5 or 6 years' time, I'm lying to him. Do you know what I mean? I ain't going to lie to him. I'm going to tell him the truth. Work hard, get to around British title level, make enough money to put a deposit on a house and have a nice life, have some great experiences. And that's what I tell them all. Because you can't lie to him. But Stevie has got a chance because she's very physically strong and because the talent pool is thin. So I never bullshit him. There's no point. There's absolutely no point at all.
You can see that, mate, and you're steering him well. And we've got to ask you about yourself in 2022. I know it's been a little bit frustrating this year in the later part of the year because you had to pull out of the December 17th show and stuff after boxing in the summer. But from speaking to you, I know you've got like a real dedication about you now, and I know you're very focused and determined to make 2022 a big year for you. You know, what are you looking to do realistically? I know the Babic fight is on the you know, the one that everyone's talking about. If that doesn't happen, what other fights do you want to take?
It's difficult because, you know, I'm nearing 30 next year, and all through my 20s, it's always been like, well, I feel like I can turn up and win a British title out of shape. You know, when I turned over Nick Webb, I never trained for months, and turned over Lucas Brown with a couple of week camp. And I've always been like, you know what, maybe I'll put it together one day and we'll go and win something. And I guess one day, is now, because I ain't getting any younger. And you know, we were discussing earlier. I've boxed world champs' heads off in sparring. It's easy. Boxing was always easy for me as an amateur. I was unbeaten, winning national titles. It was the easiest thing in the world. And the oldest story in the world is, you know, you blink, and next thing you know, you're nearly 30, and you're a waste of talent, and you got a world full of regrets. So. You know, the plan is to get in good shape, and it's hard because the promoters are looking at me and saying he's never took it serious, and do we want to work with him? You know, he's had a lot of mental health problems when he was younger. He's had a few physical problems. Do we want to work with him? So I guess it's about proving myself, you know, and that starts probably back small all again. But the same as Brian, who's been there and done it in levels a lot higher than me. You love boxing, and it's very hard to leave it alone. You know, Brian's older than me, but it's so hard to leave it alone because for me, that's all I've ever known. So I can't leave it alone. And I'm happy to box on small, or, you know, I've watched on Sky matching for 5-6 years. I'm not bothered where I box. I just love boxing. Me, box abroad, I box anywhere. I just want to box. But at this time now, he's like put up or shut up, effectively. It feels like it's been that way for years, but this is it now, because in a couple of years' time, there's going to be nothing left.
The thing is,
I must admit, when I got to 30, by the time 2 years, it felt like I'm 36 now, and it just went so quick from that age. Like when I was 28, I thought, I'm never retiring. The last 6 years of my life, my boxing career has gone so quick, and it's amazing how quick something's over. And it's such a long time, 6 years, but it's not. So like you said, like now is the time for you. Like 30, you're heavyweight as well, so you'll be hitting your prime now. Like you should be hitting your prime.
Yeah.
So now is the time, like you said.
That was the next thing I was going to say to Dave. You look out there, and I know you speak like you're an older fella, really, because you've been around in the game for a long time, and you've had different stages of your career. You fell in and out of love with it. Maybe you've always loved it, but publicly you've said things like you're going to retire, and you are where you are now. But actual age-wise, you're 29. You've got Anthony Joshua's 32, Tyson Fury's 33, Usyk's 34. I think Joe Joyce is 35. You've still got plenty of time in your hands, and if you do it right now, you haven't got time to waste anymore, if that makes sense. But if you've still got plenty of time doing it the right way.
Yeah, I look at Derrick's aura, and Derrick's, people say to me, David, you've had too many hard fights, you spar too much, and you're nearly 30. That man's 37. He's had like 10, 15 proper wars that I've not even been in any. I don't think I've probably been in one as bad as he's been in. And I've not sparred for probably 5 years, really.
Yeah.
The last 3 years I've sparred, I've not put a pair of boxing boots on to spar. Do you know what I mean? I just turn up with a pair of shorts on and a vest. And that is it. And I just walk home straight after with a pair of gloves and wraps. And I've not worn a gum shield in sparring for probably 5 years. I hardly spar, really. You know what I mean? Mm. So I look at it and I think, yeah, I've had some hard fights. And I did spar a lot when I was younger, but look at Derrick Chisora and I just think, no one tells him to retire. No one says that he's finished. And he's had a much harder career than me. Yeah. And that's not a slight on Derrick, because I'm happy to see him box all the time because he's great entertainment. Brilliant, keep boxing, Derrick, because that's what makes you happy, do it. But when I see people saying to me, you need to finish for your own health, I think, look at all these other fighters, like Derrick Chisora, like Dillian White, like all these other top-class heavyweights who are in hard fights all the time. Mm. I've not took anywhere near as much stick as them.
People like that don't have a clue though, Dave, because only you know how you feel about boxing, and only you know what you've got left. And I know what I've got left now. Through that last fight, I know I got the answers that I needed. Just basically retired on this podcast there, but I got the answers. Whereas you've got so much more to give boxing, and it's clear to see. It's just all it is with you is getting your arse in gear and fucking training, isn't it?
It's hard. I look at it and, Jamie Moore, Darren Barker, that's just two of them. They said to me, you could be the best heavyweight in the world. And for me to sit here at 29 and just to walk away and not actually try and do it, it would be bad, really. But I've said this a million times before, and if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to talk about it. It's a case of, look, I'm coming back. I want some good fights. I ain't going to talk about it because I've been proven to talk and not back it up before. So I don't know. I just hope to box again. And the main plan for next year is I want to do a show. I want to promote my own show, and there's going to be a card full of White Rhino managed fighters on the card. So that's the goal for 2022 and 2023. I hope to win the British title and hopefully that kickstart bigger things. But
Dave, I'm sure you can do. I'm sure you can do all that, mate. I think the only person who can generally stop you from doing all that is you. I think you can go as far as you want to take it and how far you dedicate yourself. And we'll be looking out for you next year because I think it will be a big year for you. And I've just got to answer you before we go, mate, very quickly. Give me your fighter and your fight of the year.
Fight of the year for me will have to be George Kambosos. I thought what he did against Lopez was unbelievable. I was up. I think I'd been out actually, and I just got back, and it was about to come on. And as every round ticked by, I thought, oh my! I couldn't believe it. I thought he was going to do it, and he beat him. And Lopez just beat Lomachenko. Lopez was the man. So for Kambosos to do what he did was fantastic, and for that alone, I would make him fight of the year fight of the year would have to be Fury Wilder 3. Just phenomenal, yeah, just unbelievable. And again, heavyweight championship of the world, two brilliant elite fighters putting a fight like that. You know, when certain fights, you know, the great live and they're not great when you watch them back. That would be great if I watched it 100 times. So I'll have to go for them too, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, mate. Listen, thanks for your time, Dave. It's going to be a big year for you, mate, I'm sure. Thanks for always coming on. You're a good bloke, and I want to see you go on and win some big fights next year, pal.
Thank you very much,
Dave.
Thank you.
It's great to hear Dave talk, you know, passionately about all the fighters he's helping out. Because, you know, we've seen it firsthand, me and you being involved with them, helping them with some media stuff, and you know, they are like a little cult. You know, they're like a little family. They all like really look up to him, and he's great with them, and he's doing great for not just for their boxing careers, but for their lives as well. And
I just really hope he reaches full potential. Like he mentioned about this year being his year, and he's not going to say it anymore. He's just going to do it, and I love that. Like I much prefer that. Something I've always done. I'm not drumming on about what I was going to achieve and go on and win British title. I just did it rather than drumming on about it. And I think that's the best way to go about business, just doing it instead of saying it. And he seems like he's got a different mindset. He says he's reaching 30 this year. And I just really hope he reaches his full potential because he's a good guy. And the only thing letting him down is the training side of things. He doesn't train hard enough, and he admits that. So I just hope he does it.
Yeah, 100%. But you know what? From speaking to him, you know, off air, just mates just like texting and stuff. There is something different about him. When I started to become friendly with him and doing some work with him like last summer, it's the first thing I tried to do, like we both tried to do, was like, you know, get dedicated, you know, push on. You can win that British title and stuff. And there wasn't a real interest there. He didn't seem like he was in love with boxing at the time, but he really is now. And like I can tell by the way he's talking that, you know, if he's not going to be dedicated, if it isn't now, it's never. You know, and because he really does seem like he wants it. And you know, and I think every single person in boxing would like to see Dave Allen fight again and fight with his head in it and fight, you know, committed, getting himself down to 17.5, 18 stone, you know, putting that work in. I think he could be definitely win a British title at his best, definitely.
Yeah. The thing is, he's not one of them fighters that anyone would bear to give him a kick up the arse. If Eddie Hearn rang him and said, come on now, he just wouldn't listen. He has to do it himself, and so if he's willing to do it himself, that's when you know he's going to be good. You know, he's going to come good when he's willing to do it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, we'll look out for him in 2022. We wish him all the best, and all of our listeners will, and probably everyone in the boxing world will. He's a hilarious fella, and he's a good fella, Dave. He's good to have on. He can come on the podcast whenever he wants. He's great at it. I think we should just get him on every week. That's what we'll do. Mate, we're going to do something different now. So I threw this on you at the last minute. Basically, got a lad coming on, Harry from Syfta band. His dad's an ex-footballer, an ex-client of mine, a good friend of mine, and I've been to see him live a few times, and they're just superb, and they're making some big waves. And he likes his boxing, so I said he could come on. So let's get him on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Let's do it. Harry, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, I'm not bad, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you, pal. So you and Brian have not met before, but I thought we'd get you on. I was saying to Brian that, you know, to be fair, I'm actually a friend of Harry's dad, and I've been to see Harry a few times. We're absolutely quality, and he likes his boxing. So I thought, let's get him on. That's what you can do when you've got your own podcast. You can just say, come on. Brian was up for it as well. He's like, yeah, he liked that song. We just played him Headlights. He was like, that's a tune. Get him on. So get Harry on. Get Harry on. So mate, you had a good Christmas?
Yeah, not too bad. I feel a bit wounded now, but doing all right.
That's it, mate. It's an endurance test when it comes to the end of it. By the time you get to about the 27th, you're just battling to stay in there, aren't you? Just getting through to the next year.
Yeah, definitely. And then you're trying to recover ready for the New Year's Eve party, aren't you?
That's it. Especially it's back on. It's on now, isn't it? It's on. Bojo's give us the go ahead.
Yeah, exactly.
Mate, so I was saying to Brian, obviously, I've seen you live a few times. You're a quality band. And, you know, we're just saying, just listen to Headlights to the proper tune. We've got to ask you, what's your favourite ring walk music? One fighter's tune when he comes out. What's the one that's making you buzz?
If I was going to have one, I think maybe Can't Stop by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, it's superb. That's Klitschko's anthem, isn't it? That's always been one of my favourites. That, to be fair, when Klitschko come out and you heard that kick in, you always knew he meant business.
Yeah, proper build up. What about yourself?
I think
mine's Elvis. Mine's Elvis. If I can dream.
Yeah, Brian's is a pretty good one. To be fair, it's always goosebumpy. That.
I like how Brooks. All of the lights is brilliant. I think it just gets the crowd bouncing.
Yeah, definitely. I think mine, I'd have to say Klitschko's one that you mentioned was one of my favourites, even though he's not my favourite fighter. I think David Haye, when he came out to Ain't No Stopping Us Now, was proper buzzy. When he used to come out dancing, was proper swagger when he was at his best. I think that takes some...
Crawler's is a good one. $1 Million Crawler. He comes out to Whitney Houston, but it's a belter.
Yeah, brilliant. That is a belter. The best nickname in boxing, that.
Yeah, $1 Million Crawler.
So, mate, we're saying we're listening to music. You've got, we're playing Headlights, but that's not your latest single. Your latest single is, what's the name of your latest single? I was just looking, but I've not actually heard it yet.
Keeping Me, I think. Yeah.
That's it. And when's your next gig, pal?
Next gig is the 13th of March. That's in Warrington.
That's not too far.
So, yeah,
from Brian. We'll have to come along to that one.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, I
definitely. Yeah.
Get Brian out for a beer. He'll be moshing. He'll be right at the front.
Yeah, I'll be able to go for as many beers as I want now.
Harry, I've told Brian this before, but I jog his memory just in case. I was talking about you doing a little song for us, giving us an anthem for the podcast, a proper Lions Den anthem, writing us one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah, what are you going to go for?
We've got a song actually coming out next year, which is it's a song about fighting.
Yeah,
it's called Night Shift. So that comes out next year. That might work. You can give it a listen and see.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, we'll have to listen to that one. We need something to get us going at the start. Proper anthem. Proper fire music. And mate, we've been talking today. We've had some good guys on. Jack Massey, Dave Allen, Liam Williams, and we've got a few other kind of guest senders in their videos. We're talking about the fighters and the fights of the year of 2021. I know you like your boxing. What's been your favourite fight of the year, and who's been your favourite fighter of the year?
I'd say favourite fight was probably Fury Wilder. I just thought like each round was like, you just thought it could go either way. It was such a toe-to-toe fight, and just entertaining more than anything as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I said the same.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
It was a good fight to watch.
What about your fighter?
Fighter, I'd have to go with Usyk just because of him boxing up a weight and still winning. It's like the Tony Bellew fights with Haye, isn't it? It's just like,
yeah.
In one way, the cards should be stacked against him because of the weight difference, but he's still managed to do it. So
he knows his stuff. To be fair, I said Usyk as the fighter of the year, and Brian said everyone's went Fury and Wilder. Everyone's went Fury and Wilder. So I think I kind of feel like I should have said that now. I feel left out. I went.
But you two have spoke before it. And then an agreement.
Harry, got a garnish around the one, mate. What do you think of Jake Paul?
He's blurt, isn't he? But what he's doing works. It's like when Conor McGregor, all the fuss about him when he comes out and it's all like the smack talk and that. But at the end of the day, it earns some money doing it, doesn't it? Being the divvy on the internet. And even though you don't like him, you still click the telly on and pay to watch the fight.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. And if you was in his position, if I weren't a boxer and I was a YouTuber and I had a chance to fight for millions of pounds, I'd fucking do it. You know what I mean? You in the right mind wouldn't do it. So it's all right. People sat there slagging him off, but we'd all do the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
Tell me, mate, what's in the pipeline for the band in 2022? When can we expect an album or new singles, and what big gigs are coming up so we can all come along?
Yeah, so in terms of releasing music, we've got about 6 or 7 singles out next year. We were going to do it as an EP, but we thought we're better off just making the most of the content we've got instead of just putting it all out in one go. So they'll be released in stages, probably about every 6 weeks. And then in terms of gigs, we've got a few things in the pipeline that we can't quite announce yet. Hopefully trying to get some festival stuff sorted, but again, it's like because we've not announced it and the promoter's not, I can't really say. Not too much gig wise in the diary at the moment, but like there'll be some stuff come up.
Yeah, I've got to say, if people get a chance to see you, which I'm sure, how can they follow you on so they can keep up to date? What's your Instagram handle?
Yeah, so Instagram is Syfta Band, and then everything else is just Syfta.
Yeah, as I say, I've been to you a few times, and absolutely sick live act. They've got like a proper energy, like Arctic Monkeys, like it's proper banging. So I look forward to coming to a gig myself in 2022. And if anyone gets a chance to come and see you, they should. And mate, when you've got your next gig coming back up, we'll get you back on, talk a bit more about boxing. But thanks for coming on, mate. And we'll look out for all your stuff. And when you've got this song, what was the name of it again?
Night Shift.
Night Shift, that's it. Night Shift could be our new anthem for Series 3.
Yeah, sounds good. I can send you the demo, actually. We've already got the demo done, but the single, we're still recording it at the moment.
All right, top stuff. Send it over to us, and me and Brian will review it.
Thanks, Harry.
Yeah.
Harry, thanks for coming on, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Top man. Cheers, Harry.
Bye-bye.
Mate, good episode today. We've had everyone on, really. We're Liam Williams, Jack Massey, Dave Allen, Harry from Syfta Band come on and joined us. You know, as I say, when you've got a live gig, go and see it, because they're pretty sick, to be fair. But it's been good, mate. Little end of year special. Everyone's fight of the year seems to be the same, didn't it? Fury Wilder seems to get the most votes.
Yeah.
A lot of mentions for music, a lot of mentions for Canelo. Going back,
can't argue with any of them really. They're all good fights, aren't they? We've had a good year of boxing, to be honest, considering with COVID and things like that. We have had a really good year of boxing. Yeah,
I think so. I think it's been a great year for boxing. I think with every division looks strong now. You know, at the moment, it's hard to pick a weak division. So I think in 2022 we're just going to get more great fights. Before we go, I've just got to mention the competition again. The Ebony Bridges glove. You can win that. I'm going to post this on Instagram. All you have to do is tell us what subject that Ebony teaches, like I mentioned before. And what I forgot to say was you need to be subscribed to our YouTube channel to win. So yeah, get on that, guys, and you can win a Blonde Bomber signed glove. But yeah, mate, we're going to leave everyone with a special treat. We've got some little messages for you from Ricky Hatton, Anthony Fowler, Stevi Levy, Bobby Rimmer, Robert Rimmer, telling you their fights and fights of the year. So guys, we'll see you on episode 3.
See you soon, guys. Thanks for the support.
Hi guys, Ricky Hatton here. Just a few of my thoughts for the year. I think for me, the best fight of the year was the third fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. The fact that after Tyson smashing Deontay Wilder in the second fight, but we didn't think Wilder had a performance in him like that, but he did. The fight went one way, then the other. There was knockdowns, there was drama, there was exceptional boxing, and it had absolutely everything. I think that has got to go down as one of the best. And the third fight was the one after the second fight being so one-sided. I don't think we was asked, were we, about the third fight, but how wrong we were, because for me that was my fight of the year. But my fighter of the year, I think there's been so many great fighters and so many great performances through the year, but I think my favourite fighter this year, the best fighter of the year, has got to be Canelo Alvarez. I think he secured every single belt in the middleweight division, didn't he? And, you know, beat and knocking out some amazing fighters and did it. And not just the fact that the belts that he won through the year, the manner of his performances, just absolutely destructible. I mean, he'll go up to light heavyweight next year and cruiserweight. He's going to take some absolute beating, that man. But yeah, anyway, my fight of the year, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and my fighter of the year, Canelo Alvarez. But that's my view on the Lions Den group. And let's hope next year's boxing's been just as good as this year's. All the best, everyone.
The nomination for Fight of the Year is Gonzalez v Estrada 2. And my nomination for Fighter of the Year for the Lions Den podcast is Canelo Alvarez. And Brian, do us a little favour, mate. You know when you're making them videos and that, you know in the beginning that, hi guys, can you knock that in the head, mate, please?
My favourite fighter of the year is Sandy Ryan. I feel like she's just bringing something different to boxing. Like, I'm excited to watch her. There are many fighters you can say after 2-3 fights you're excited to watch. So yeah, Sandy Ryan for me. Favourite fight of the year for me is Ted Cheeseman and James Metcalf. What a roller coaster of emotions watching that. Fucking loved it. So yeah, Sandy Ryan is my favourite fighter of the year. My favourite fight of the year is Ted Cheeseman, James Metcalf.
My fight of the year was Chisora against Parker 2. Was ringside last week. Unbelievable fight. The best fighter here for me is George Cambosa. Beat Teofimo Lopez. No one gave him a chance. I didn't personally, and he proved us all wrong. So, well done to him.
So the fight of the year, I think the most noticeable is the high-profile fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder 3. An absolute barnstormer of a fight, you know, and one that's going to be talked about for many, many years to come. Fight of the year, for me, is Canelo Alvarez. This guy's just phenomenal in my opinion. You know, he just keeps setting himself goals and targets and just keeps smashing them. You know, his performance against Billy Joe Saunders and the way he just dissected him with ease. Every time he steps in that ring and what he does and what he's capable of, he's just amazing. So for me, Canelo Alvarez, in my opinion, is the fighter of the year.